just snap of your finger and you are at 120 straight away. So always make sure you open the visor a little bit. The things that you need to be extremely careful when you are riding in rain. Breakfast ride on a Sunday with Honda Bigwing Mangalore, and this time around we are going towards Agumbe Ghat. This is our first ride of the monsoon after my Ladakh ride, and yes, it's directly to Agumbe. Agumbe just turns magical during monsoon. It's just out of this world, and every time I've been there, it just surprised me with a different perspective altogether. So all of us are already wearing rain liners now. So basically we are wearing a rain pants, and whenever it rains I'm going to wear my rain liner as well. That's on the top. And after a long time I'm using my old gloves, but then I think this has just gone bad. Didn't realize this. The stitchings have come out, and this is also broke. Didn't realize that. Oh, I have a backup gloves any which way. I'll change that. So it's flag off time and our ride begins. So today I am riding the 300R. This is one mini pocket rocket, and this one comes with ABS and IMU as well, inertia measuring unit. So the braking in this is extremely good, and the way this motorcycle handles is supreme. I just love riding this motorcycle. It's so nimble, weighing just at 147 kgs. It's superb, and the way the power output comes is so nice. And this is one of those responsible motorcycle, I can say. When I say responsible motorcycle, this can get fast. At the same time, the way power delivery happens is so sweet that you're in control of the situation every single time. And that's what makes this motorcycle a very, very nice motorcycle. It's a nice day to ride. As of now there's no rain, but then as per weather forecast there would be heavy rain once we enter toward Udupi, and while we take a turn towards Hebri and forward. Weather forecast says it's gonna rain heavily. In Agumbe we might have some crazy rains. While that's the forecast though, let's see how that goes for the day. So this is my first monsoon ride for the season, kicking off with the Honda guys, and then I have my entire 3 months ride plan scheduled, which is for the month of July, August and September. I will have a lot of my personal rides, so people who want to join are most welcome to join me on those rides. So sun looks like it's coming up too early today. It's just about not even 7:15, and yeah, Mr. Sun is already out. So let me just give you a glimpse of our riders for the day. I'll just ask them to overtake and you'll see all of them. So here's our riders. There comes 300F, and then a few Highnesses. There you see. Here comes 200X. One more. Highness, Highness, and Highness. Now let's give you a nice look. Here we come. That's a clean look of the entire fleet for the day. And here we come. Do you see the acceleration in no time? It hits 120. It's just snap of your finger and you are at 120 straight away. So that good is this machine, and you just saw the entire line of our team. And look at my gloves. This is the old gloves. All my riding gears are on, in transit from Chandigarh to Mangalore. So I just took my very old gloves, I think using this after ages, and just happened to see the knuckle guard is just broken. I will change it in a bit. I have another glove on in my bag. I'll change when we stop next. Can't ride with this broken gloves though. So if you see, there's some dark clouds right ahead, which indicates it might rain, but as of now here it's not a clear sky, but the sun is already out. So we just wore our top rain liner also, because if you see, it's full super dark clouds ahead, and just got a light glimpse of rains. So I thought I didn't want to take chances, because you don't want to stop when it rains heavily and then start wearing your riding gears, because by then you're half wet. No point. So rather than that, be prepared before itself, because even if it rains, then we don't have to stop. We can continue riding. When you're Padubidri now, you take a left here, you go towards Padubidri, the beach. And there are a couple of things that you need to be extremely careful when you are riding in rain. A couple of things that you need to consider no matter what is, if you're riding in the city, never ever take an alternative route, because if there's a water clogging in your regular route or whatever, go in the route that you know back of your hand, because whenever you normally take an alternative route, you don't really know what's happening in that alternative route. There could be a manhole, there could be a pothole, the water would have flooded and you don't know, and you go in that direction, and that's when a lot of problem happens, because people think, okay, this particular road there could be traffic jam or water clogging, so let me take the alternative road, which you're not aware of unless you know that road very well. So that's point number one. Always remember, do not go to unknown roads when you are riding during rainy season. Number two, be very careful of these rainbow patches that you see on the road whenever you're on highway or in your city itself. Those are all oil patches or diesel patches, which gets activated when it rains, and those are highly dangerous, because if you cross on that on high speed or brake in those situation, you are just gonna fall, and that can get really bad. So always remember, do not go on those rainbow patches, or you see a shining patch on the road whenever it rains. Avoid those patches at every given conditions. Do that. Number three, about your helmet. So your helmet starts fogging if you don't have a defogger on your helmet, because of the hot air that you breathe and exhale and inhale, and the weather out there could be cold, so the helmet gets a nice fogging effect. So always keep your helmet a little open, just a little bit, so that there is no fogging on your visor, helmet visor, and you can comfortably ride without any problem, because once it starts fogging, it can get really dangerous and your visibility can go for a toss. So always make sure you open the visor a little bit or install a anti-fog on your helmet, which will keep your ride completely comfortable. So if you're buying a helmet like a KYT or a lot of new helmets like SMK, they offer pin lock pre-installed, or they give free, which you can install on your helmet. So look at those alternatives, which are very important for a rainy ride. And just before the monsoon starts, make sure you have a thorough checkup of your motorcycle. No matter what, have a thorough checkup of your motorcycle and make sure the upkeeping of your motorcycle is done, because it's very important that all your electrical and mechanical parts work properly during rainy season. You can't have any malfunction. So always make sure you keep your vehicle for service just before monsoon. Make sure it's well maintained, ensure the brake fluids are proper. If you have the disc brake system, so ensure the oil is maintained well. And then also change the oil filter if you haven't done an oil change. Make an oil change and change the oil filter as well, which is very important for you to do. And all the basic upkeeping that you normally do, that has to be made sure has been taken care of. So by following these things, you can be safe, at least from your end, whenever you're riding, and reduce the risk. This can't be 100% risk free, but you can definitely reduce the risk or avoid unforeseen circumstances. So it's always important to follow these things. And if you're in group ride, always try to have an intercom. Invest on an intercom. Today intercoms start, like Chinese intercoms start as low as 2,500, which does a basic job of picking up call, making calls, Google Assist, and then in certain cases you will have intercom as well. But if you're looking at a branded intercom, you would get something like a Parani at a base price of 5,500 starting, and then that range goes up till whatever you want. So always, if you're in groups, invest on an intercom. I would 100% recommend that. So I've been using an intercom for the last decade or so. My first intercom was a Chinese brand, which I think it was called Bui or something, and even today it's working fine. So they say, right, about Chinese product, aaya to sham tak warna chand tak. So mine has probably come till the chand tak, because even today it works, even after 10 years. Then I had paid about 3,500 10 years ago, while Sena and Cardo, all those brands were super expensive. Those were at 14,000-15,000. So I found this as a cheap alternative, and I wanted to try what's intercom all about a decade ago. And from then onwards, I've been regularly using intercom. A lot of times it comes in handy when you're doing group rides, or especially when you're doing solo rides. It will keep you connected. A lot of time your family might call you when you're on a long solo ride or whatever, and you keep your mobile in your pocket because you're riding. You can't hear the sound of the phone, and because of which you miss the call. And a lot of time your family members get worried. So if you have a intercom, you can pick calls, you can tell them the status, what's happening. You can use it for your GPS direction if you don't have a mobile mount. There's a lot of uses of intercom, so I would strongly recommend to use one. So currently I'm using 3 different intercoms. So 2 of my helmets have one of my favorites, Blue Armor C30, Then on my AGV I have the Sena HSF 10, and then on my MT Falcon I have a Bui, which was my very first intercom. So that way I have 3 different intercoms that I'm using, but my favorite is Blue Armor, no doubt, my favorite.